All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about something that is, without a doubt, one of the most critical factors in modern medicine. And this is for both the healthcare pros and the IT pros in the room. This isn't just about making things run smoother. This is about patient survival. Just let that quote sink in for a second. It's really the core truth of everything we're about to cover. The data we handle, whether we're inputting it or managing the systems it lives on, it's not some abstract thing. It has a pulse. And every single thing we do determines if we're a guardian of that patient's safety or a source of risk. So let's just be blunt here. We're going to talk about the data that kills. Because if we just call these things small mistakes or paperwork, we're not just wrong, we're being dangerously misleading. These are direct threats. And understanding how a tiny error can snowball is the first step to stopping it from ever happening. Okay, so take this classic, all too common example. You've got a patient's chart, and the allergies section, it's blank. It seems like a small omission, right? Maybe someone was in a hurry. But that one blank space leads a doctor to prescribe a totally standard antibiotic. And boom, the patient goes into anaphylactic shock. The cause wasn't the medicine, it was the missing data. One empty field just became a life or death situation. Or how about this one? A lab value gets typed in wrong. Maybe two numbers are swapped, or a decimal point is off by one space. It's a tiny typo. But based on that single wrong number, a surgeon decides to either go ahead with or maybe cancel a critical surgery. Think about that. A huge, irreversible action is taken, all based on information that was just plain wrong from the get-go. Now, these examples, they aren't just rare, one-off incidents. They're part of a truly staggering national crisis. We're talking over 400,000 deaths every single year in the U.S. alone, all tied to preventable harm in our hospitals. To put that in perspective, that's like an entire major city vanishing every year because of errors we actually have the power to stop. But here's the most important part of that horrifying number. This is not some unsolvable tragedy. Studies show that about half of all that harm is preventable. That means we have the ability to cut these numbers down, and I mean way down. And it all starts with getting the data right. So where do you fit in? Well, it doesn't matter if you wear scrubs or you manage servers, you are a critical, essential link in the patient safety chain. The phrase, "it's just paperwork" or "it's just a system update," it has no place in this world. This is where we have to tear down the wall between the clinical and the technical roles. Just look at the potential harm on the right. It's identical. A nurse entering a patient's history, an IT pro running a system update. If either one of those routine jobs is done poorly, the result is exactly the same. The doctor or surgeon is forced to make a huge decision completely blind. And this gets right to the heart of it. This isn't a passive mistake. It's an active introduction of harm into the system. An incomplete record is a hazard. A broken data feed is a hazard. We're not just creating a bottleneck, we are literally creating the conditions for catastrophe. Now, of course, technology is a massive part of the solution here, but we have to be honest, it's a double-edged sword. We have all these brilliant, powerful tools at our fingertips, but they are 100% dependent on the quality of the information we give them. Think about all these amazing systems, EHRs, AI that predicts outcomes, clinical decision support through what's called CPO, or computerized physician order entry. They're all designed to make things safer. But here's the catch. They don't create accuracy. They amplify it. And if the data you feed them is wrong, they will amplify that error with terrifying speed and efficiency. You know, we've all heard that old IT saying, garbage in, garbage out. But in healthcare, the stakes are so much higher. It's not about a bad spreadsheet or a glitchy app. It's garbage in, life out. The output of bad data is measured in actual human harm. And that's exactly why technology can never be the whole answer. The system can and will fail, but the one thing that can stop an error dead in its tracks is you. That vigilant human check is our last and honestly our best line of defense. Never, ever assume someone else will catch it. Your eyes on that record are the final safety net. Okay, so let's flip the script. Enough about the problems. Let's talk about the proof. What happens when we actually get this right? Well, the results aren't just theory. They are documented, life-saving outcomes for real patients. This is the payoff for being careful. Check this out. A major study found something incredible. When they pulled in more complete, accurate patient data, it actually corrected the safety and quality calculations for 15% of the patients. Let that sink in. For almost 1 out of every 5 people, better data led to a different, better clinical path. That's huge. And look at the impact right inside a hospital. One pediatric center started using real-time tracking for things like hospital-acquired infections. By acting on clean, up-to-the-minute data, they slashed bloodstream infections by 23% and pressure ulcers by a jaw-dropping 74%. Those aren't just stats. Those are children who went home safe and sound. And the proof is everywhere you look. Hospitals with great data have safer dosing for risky drugs. They've cut bleeding complications by over 5%. They have fewer bad reactions to medication. It's simple. Accurate data makes targeted, life-saving care possible. It just plain works. Which brings us to the final and most crucial point. We need to bring this all back to you and the very next record you're about to open. Your name, your login, your digital signature. It's a mark of profound responsibility. If you don't remember anything else from this, please remember this simple, unavoidable truth about our work. Incomplete is negligence. Wrong is harm. And only accurate is safety. There's really no middle ground, and this really says it all. The next time you feel that little temptation to cut a corner, to skip a check, to think it's probably fine, remember this. What you're doing is not admin work. It is not busy work. It is life-saving work. Period. So I'll just leave you with this one question. That next patient record that pops up on your screen, the next system you patch, the next entry you make, you have a choice in that moment. Is your action going to be a risk, or is it going to be a rescue? The choice is all yours.